Okay, guys, I'm going to try again. I do not know why it keeps kicking me off. It's saying my internet is unstable and my internet goes out and comes back in. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to try again to be live. It has not been one of those good technology days. For some unknown reason, it is hot in here. Um, okay, I have made it 41 seconds and it's staying on. So hopefully, I don't know if anybody will be here this afternoon, but Aunt Beck's Creations is on live tonight, and I don't want to. I don't want to try to do live tonight. I want to watch her live. So I'm going to try to do it this afternoon, and I am late. Hi, Karen. I'm sorry if you were trying to catch me earlier. I don't know if this is a third try, so we'll hope the live stays on and hope you can watch. I'm just going to do a little of this and a little of that today. Like I said, I spent the entire morning trying to make my video recording software work with the camera. I don't know. It updated last week when my computer crashed. I think I told everybody in the last one. Karen, it wasn't you. It was me. It kept dying. Anyways, my computer crashed and we got it back by taking it to a tech guy, and but when it updated, things just are a little cattywampus and I can't seem to make things work right. So we're just going to try it this way and see what happens. I had to show these off. I was out yesterday and I went into Tuesday morning and these were at the front table and they are just so pretty. They're napkins. So sooner or later I'm going to have to use a few of them. But I loved them. I thought they were so pretty. Let's open one. Of course, I could get into trouble on Tuesday morning. They have all kinds of napkins. So, oh yeah, look at that. I can see some really pretty tags and stuff out of that. Anyway, so I wanted to show those. I thought they were really pretty. And I have made a mess because I had videos I wanted to film this morning. Yeah, I liked the birds too, Karen. That was one of the big reasons I wanted them because I thought they were small enough for tags. You know, sometimes the napkin has such a big piece in it that a tag is gonna it's gonna overpower the tag, and this was not. So, anyways, I have some envelopes I needed to decorate, and I thought maybe you guys would like to watch that for a few minutes. I never know how boring things can get, but I have decorated some of them. I haven't, Karen, I don't know if you have watched my channel much, but I have video on how I make the envelopes. So I'm going to work on decorating the rest of them. That is if, there we go, I can find my pen. Oh, Karen, you just make me a postcard. It doesn't have to be something you think is a great art piece. I'm excited to get anything that you make me. So I'll be really tickled. Make sure you email me so that I can give you my address. Are you making videos or were you just trying to make a postcard? I wish you could see it. I'll bet my tongue is sticking out. Sometimes when I draw, that happens. Well, I'm excited. Like I said, do make sure to email me and I'll get you my address so that you can get it in. I'm excited to see it. And I think we all do things a little differently. I mean, we all do the same thing in some respects. We all put lines on paper, we all put paint on paper, we all stick paper down, but it's all a little different. So, yeah, I was going to say, just don't worry about it. This is supposed to be fun. The whole thing is supposed to be fun. And I picked a postcard because you can mail it for the less expensive rate. Karen, did when I tried to go live, did it tell you I was going live, or did you just happen to be on my channel when I went live? I'm just curious because I'm real new to the videos. I only started making videos in January, so. Um, it's up to you. If you seal it with Mod Podge, the only problem with that is that it can be sticky and it can stick in their equipment, which can cause issues. So if you seal it with Mod Podge, take a candle and rub over the top of the Mod Podge. That's what I do in my art journal pages. If I have Mod Podge on these pages, I actually use furniture wax. Okay, thank you. I'm really glad that the notification's working. But yeah, if I like these, I use a lot of Mod Podge, but to keep them from sticking together like that, I will go over a finished page with furniture wax. Yeah, just any kind of candle should work. You're just waxing. You're just putting a little bit of wax over the top. Let me go get the can of stuff I use. I'll be right back. Okay. This is paste finishing wax from Minwax. Let's see. There. The thing of it is that if you're new to this, you don't go out and buy this. A candle works, but because this is going to last me an entire lifetime, or the rest of my lifetime, I'm sure. Because you just use a tiny little bit, and if you've got a candle, any old candle, it'll just keep the Mod Podge from being sticky. I like Mod Podge for I actually use it a lot for glue and for sealer. And now I think did you watch my video? I used this matte finish spray stuff on my postcard, but I had it. So use what you've got. For some reason, I'm not real fond of this envelope, but that's okay. Yeah, I'd use the Mod Podge in a candle. That'll work. For some reason, this pen is skipping today, so I don't know. Maybe I'll change and see if I got another pen. I don't like them when they skip. This, by the way, if you haven't watched me before, this is my favorite white pen. It's a Signo Uniball Signo white pen. This one it's a pigment ink, so it's water soluble. It's water resistant when you get it done, when you use it. I have to change though. And the other pens I like a lot are these Micron Pigma pens because they don't bleed through. Um, they don't bleed through the paper. You can draw on something and it doesn't go all the way through. So it's, I tend to, oh, except this one is nasty. I forgot that was nasty. I don't know why it's nasty. That one works. How long have you been playing with whatever you want to call this? I just call it art journaling, mixed media. I imagine the black pen shows up a little bit better too. And I'm just doodling. I have no plan. Sometimes when you have no plan, that doesn't help. Well, I'm glad you're trying to do more. Like I said, it's supposed to be fun. I go through stages of how much I get done. I have a little more, I made a space for this kind of work, this kind of thing in this studio. Before, I didn't really have a space that I had a place to put this kind of stuff out. So this has made it a little bit easier. Um, by dedicating a little space to it, you do it more often. That still doesn't mean it gets done very frequently. Very frequently, that's a great sentence. And this isn't a great time of day to do a live, but it was just when I had chance. So for some reason, running around today took longer than it was supposed to. And the computer thing this morning meant that the things I was supposed to do this morning didn't get done. So I will have to do those this evening. Now, one thing about the white pen that I use, you need to let it dry a few minutes before you go sticking something on top of it. So, um, okay. That one definitely doesn't work. Oh, see what I mean about not bleeding through? Um, it bled through a little tiny bit, but this is just copy paper. And that black did not come through very bad. So that's one of the reasons. I forgot I had left these undone so that I could open them up. So I watch a lot of other people's videos too, Karen. I'd rather watch videos than TV. And I'm just doing a little decoration on each one, just so that when I use these, that they have, some personality. If I had realized the first one was open, it's easier to draw on it when it's open. So, oh, Karen, somebody else is watching with you. They haven't said anything, but they're watching with you. So, whoever else is out there, hello. I'm just doing this and that to whoever's just signed on. I'm playing around here. And you know, we all see our own mistakes, but if you don't look at them as mistakes, other people don't even notice them. And I make a lot of flowers when I do my doodles. It's just I go to doodle and they seem to end up flowers. And now when I close, oops, other way around. When we close it up, it looks like that. Sometimes it's six of one, half dozen of another. Which way it's easier to draw on it. That's one reason, though, I like to make my own envelopes for these, because then I can open it up and I can lay it flat. It's gotten very, very hot here. The poor little air conditioner in my car today did not want to keep me cool. And the humidity is unreal. But I guess we're doing pretty good because we haven't had too many storms yet. And there's people that have had I watched something the other day, they were getting so much hail that it was just coming down like crazy. So sorry, I also tend to yeah, we skip spring too, but North Florida doesn't have spring a lot. Where are you, Karen? We used to live in South Dakota, and I swear every year we skipped spring. Kentucky, yeah. Um, my son's in Nebraska, and they went straight from really cold to hot. So I went to school in Southern Illinois. It was real close to the Kentucky line. Now that was silly. The stamp's going to go right over the top of that one. And put another one down here. We had a really cold winter here last winter. We lost a lot of plants that seemed to survive here without too much trouble. And but we had so many days of freezing weather that it was kind of bad. But and of course it wasn't anything that we put in the house or in the yard, but it was plants that were here. I was really sad. Right outside my studio windows, there were these gigantic, they're called elephant ears. I don't really know we call them elephant ears anyways. I don't know what the real name of them is, but they, uh, they didn't make it. And there's little ones coming back, but the big ones did not survive. So, and now we're having a really hot year, and everybody's getting storms. So I don't know. You're probably getting bored watching this. Now that one I like. It came out good. Oops. All right, let's do something different, just so you don't get bored watching, Karen. I don't want to. I can always work on those some more later. I thought last live I put these collage pieces in place, and I thought maybe I'd work on some of it. Lost my paint pens. There we go. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it just yet, but oops, let's try doing this over here. Okay. I just wanted to give these a little more definition. Oops. Now that's one thing. When this paint pen hits where the Mod Podge has gone on it, it wiggles. Hi, Leslie. Not a lot. I was decorating some of these envelopes, just doodling. My live didn't go on right first. Karen had a terrible time getting logged in because for some unknown reason, technology is not liking me today. So I just kept trying and did it a different way, and it's working, I think. I'm glad you came, Leslie. Um, I'm just working on this and that kind of stuff today. Leslie, my computer had crashed last week, and when it when I got it back, it updated a bunch of things, and for some unknown reason, my camera software and everything else won't work together with all the software I've been using. So everything was off, and this morning just seemed to do that. I had the house to myself. Hubby went kayaking. I thought, oh, it's quiet. I can video and do this and that. And nope. So I'm just working for a little while. You guys can't hardly even see that, can you? Yeah, updating takes forever. Can you see? Yeah. I don't I don't like paying bills, Leslie. I agree. But not too many things updated. When I got the computer back, it it was a apparently we got popped with power. I'm not sure yet exactly what happened, but he did something called reseating my battery, which I would have done had you been able to take the battery out of this thing. Um, just like the phones anymore, the computer batteries, you can't take them out. Um, the the tech even said I had looked it up because that's the first thing I would have done is pull the battery. And I told the tech that I looked it up on YouTube, and the the way to get the battery out, you have to take the entire computer apart, and it has to come out through the front and the keyboard. So that didn't happen, not with me, anyways. So um, the tech said, he goes, "Boy, you were right." He said, "It took me an hour to get that thing apart." But I was real lucky because when I first dropped it off, he was afraid, just like I was afraid, that it was my motherboard, and it wasn't. It just apparently we got popped, and the battery shut itself and everything off. So I was very happy. Cool, Karen. I can't wait to get the postcard. I really can't. Leslie, Karen's working on a postcard from my subby giveaway, so I'm really excited to see it. And if Leslie, if you don't know, I have a subby giveaway going on. I think you already um, commented, didn't you? I don't remember. I don't remember a lot these days. There. It just gives them a little more definition. Okay. Oh, you don't have to make anything, Leslie. Um, the the deal is that if you commented, you got one entry. If you shared, you got another couple. I can't remember it all right this minute. Then, if you made me a postcard and I got your postcard in time, then you get like 3 extra entries. If you make me a video response of your making the postcard, you get more entries for that. So you might want to go check it out and think about it because um, you've got till the end of the month. So, and I chose a postcard because if you do a postcard, you can mail it for, oh, I don't know, but it's less than a letter stamp. Postcard stamps are a lot less expensive. And it's a 4x6 piece. I asked that you make me a postcard, something handmade. So And I'm just outlining. I have found that outlining works really well on pages. It makes things stand out. I want to get some Posca pens that I've seen other people use them. They're much finer line than these Sharpies, but this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. So, oh, um, if you do a slideshow, will you do a slideshow video on YouTube, Leslie, or on Facebook? Because on Facebook, you just have to upload photos to get a slideshow. So, okay. I have not seen that, so I'd have to look it up, look at it. That would be a cool idea, though. It would be perfect advertising. But here's the thing about the postcard. You don't have to do a video response of you're making your postcard. Just make me a postcard and send me one. And that gets you more points too. So you don't have to do a YouTube of it. Karen's just making it. She doesn't do YouTube videos either. So, and I know that Marcia from ZC Creations, she did a video response, so she's sending me one. I think I will do. I'm not happy with the dots. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I didn't want to make it so that only people that did videos could do that. I just wanted to. I told everybody I wanted to try to cheer up my post person. She's kind of got attitude. Of course, if I had to ride around in that hot Jeep, I might have an attitude too. I have a lot to do to my channel. I make glass beads, so that's my job, and this is playtime, and I don't always get to be on here to play. It's this afternoon I was late, and hubby's actually going to fix dinner, so I don't have to stop to fix dinner. Which I thought that was sweet of him. It was that or eat leftovers was the deal. Oh, Leslie, I make glass beads. I'm an artist, and I make beads. Let's see. Here's that's. I don't know if it'll be in focus. That's just one of my beads. Here's a poppy. You can see it's flat. It's a disc. These are just what's laying here. That's a little disc. I was supposed to be doing a video of this a jewelry video, and it didn't work. Oh yeah, it's my job. I'm lucky in that my husband takes care of me, and I only have to pay a few bills with my job, and um, it was really good when my son was in high school and I could work for myself, and I had to be here in Florida to take care of my dad. If I'd have had a 40-hour a week job, I couldn't have done those things. So it it really is a nice thing to be able to work for yourself. At the same time, it is work. So it gets done before any of the playing gets done. So, although lately I've been ignoring it. So, oh well, Jeff retired. Oh, I think it's 3 years ago. We were headed out on our first big retirement trip in our RV, which we were living in, and we got in a wreck 2 days on our first trip. And when that happened, it wrecked the RV so bad that we were kind of left homeless. Not really, we had family. And we ended up sleeping on my father in law's floor for 5 months because this house that we're in now um, wasn't really livable. We had there, we'd put a new roof on it, and it was a repossessal, and we hadn't intended to live in it. So my poor retired husband has done nothing in the last year and a half but work on this house and the yard and all of those things that had been left undone and go. We've actually only been in the house. Yes, Leslie, it does suck. We still don't have our RV back. Um, it's still in Texas. So it's just it's been one of those learning experiences. I'll tell you what. I don't know. I don't know about what I want to do with these little girls. I don't want them as heavy-handed as the flowers were. Maybe should have used white. That looks all right. When he retires, Leslie, are you gonna? Is he gonna play golf? Or are you gonna travel? Or are you gonna? What's your plans? I'm sorry, I'm being so quiet, girls. I get to concentrating and I forget to talk. Ah, I've only been to California a couple of times. I've not been to Nevada. Oh, wait, I probably have been to Nevada. I can't say that I would want to live in either place. We would have liked to have moved to the mountains, but we have family here, so we came back for a while. I don't golf either. I'm not a golfer. Jeffrey's not a golfer. However, today he went and tried kayaking. I think he had a good time. He said he fell out only once, but they were on a sandbar. They were beached, and he went to get back in, and he fell out. So, but I think that he went with some friends of ours, and I think they had fun. So, we've always done a lot of hiking, and we like the state parks and the national parks, places that are a little bit more rustic. Our rig is short enough that we can stay in the national parks. Some of the big RVs you can't stay in. They're too long. So I'm not sure if I'm making it better or worse. There are days. I would love an opinion. Thank you, Leslie. Um, there's just three of us as well. We have a son. Um, he lives in Nebraska right now. We've tried to convince him to move down here and move into the house, but he's pretty independent. Doesn't really want to. I'd like it because then his dad wouldn't have to do all these chores. He'd have a little bit of help, and then when we travel, he wouldn't. It would we would the house wouldn't be empty. Yeah, I really like outlining it. Um, it just makes things pop out. Now I don't know if you watched me do the other one that I did. Let me see if I can find a finished page. Oh, yeah, here. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Okay. This one has more finished pages in it. Um, this one doesn't have as much writing space as I usually leave. For some reason, that one got busier. Usually, I leave space to write, and that's kind of when I finish these. Then I use them to actually journal in every day, but I just haven't finished this particular batch. Yeah, I can imagine if your son lives with you, it's a lot of help. The Well, of course, my husband is doing 4 lawns. He takes care of my mother's lawn, his father's lawn, and his father's elderly neighbor who is alone. I'm not sure exactly how old she is, but she's very alone, and will try to do things she probably shouldn't do. And um, so Jeff goes over, and when he does his dad's lawn and my mom's lawn, he does hers as well. So, and then of course he's got ours to do. Yeah, I really like how that turned out, especially outlined. It needs some words, but I haven't decided what to put on it yet. I'll have to look for those maybe next time. I also don't know if I want to outline these. Let's try it. Yeah, just sort of a sketchy outline works pretty decent. There again, just a little more definition. Um, Leslie, give me just a second. Let me finish this little spot. Um, the books are random different papers. I'll show you. Um, First off, most of them were 8.5 by 11 paper. So, um, let's see. So there's some scrapbook paper, some drawing paper. That's what these would be, was drawing paper, scrapbook paper. This is a page out of a catalog, and one side had lines on it, and one side had probably a price list or something. But what happens is that when you do, and these are drop papers, you know, from underneath from when I'm painting and stuff. The covers are cardstock, and what I do is I take an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Give me just a second. There's some 8.5 by 11 paper right there. Okay. And so let's get rid of the cutter. I take this 8.5 by 11 sheet, and at the 8.5 inch mark, so it's 8.5 inches from here to here. If you score it, then you get this little flap, like so. So then you do the same thing with the next piece. I happen to like squares. That's just, I like square notebooks. Oh, that's 9.5, not 8.5. You do have to measure them all the same. Okay. Well, you don't if you don't want to. have all my little pages with this little flap. So I put one in this way, and I turn this one around and put it in this way. So what happens is that my cover leaves a little flap right there and on the inside back here. And then, well, I must have put all the flaps. Okay. There's a flap. And there's a flap. And there's a flap. Now, I may have had, this is drop paper, so it was real big. So I may have cut it 8.5 inches wide by, what's twice, 17? Right? No. Yeah, 17. 8.5 by 17-inch paper, all folded in half. And I just put them in, like this one. Let's find the middle. Where's the middle? Oh, that's the middle. So obviously that was an 8.5 by 17-inch paper, or 17-inch paper that I cut to be 8.5 inches, which means it was probably a piece of my drop paper. But then if I want to put more pieces in, I just put this one in this way and this one in this way. And it gives me a square book. So, and over time, it takes a while because I use these like several people, Mary Dale Abrams at the Mary LTA, and I think Marcia at ZC Creations, and Dee Dee Willingham, they all have desk journals where they scrape off their paint. Well, that's what I do to start. This is where I had a stencil and I had extra paint and I squished it off, and that's extra paint, and I was using Punchinella, and so I just keep doing that, and then I will start adding layers to it. That was probably drop paint that I scribbled on, drop paper that I just scribbled on. So, I just add layers and layers, and then I start putting in the collage. Thank you, Leslie. It just takes a while, just build up the different layers, and then, like I said, I will, when this book is finished, I'll use it to write in. So that's if I ever finish it. It's getting more finished as I go along. Didn't want to really make these outlined. At the same time, they needed a little more definition. I think that works. If I ever finish one of these, I'll, since I do YouTube videos now, I'll do a flip, but there we go. Like I said, it needs some words somewhere, but I think I'll wait on that and figure it out later. But I think that's pretty done. Yeah, Leslie, it's just about playing. Karen was worrying over her postcard because she's new to this, and I'm like, it's all about having a good time with it. If you can't play with it, then it's not fun. So, I I did. I forgot to. You weren't here earlier, but I got these. Aren't these pretty? There are going to be some tags and stuff coming with that. I got those at Tuesday morning. So, all right. Well, we're just going to put that aside for now and do something else. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, goody. I can stay for a little while longer. I, if you saw it, I uploaded these sewing tags and how I made them. And I'm just going to decorate some more of them. Yeah, Leslie, I walked into Tuesday morning, saw that napkin, and it was like, oh yeah, I have to have that. I try not to do that too often, but it was not one of those things I could walk away from. Anyways, because I need more than two, I thought I would play this afternoon and make a few more. I got some die cuts cut out for it. And I got my book back from my mom. I got this book at the thrift store for $1. And I know that these are they're going to be really cute on the, I thought they'd make some great pieces to the tags. I want to use some of the pages actually as pages in the sewing journal. I suppose I could just use this book, but I don't know that that's what I want to do yet. I haven't decided. So let's see. I think we'll take a couple pieces of this. Oh, look, trim. Oh, that's perfect page to play with. Oh, why am I doing that? Okay. And I have a bunch of these little die cuts that I cut out. The other day too, when I was using this pattern, there's these really cute little pins in things. I thought maybe I would try to put a pin or two actually in a tag. I'll have to glue it in place. So, anyways, I thought I'd work on these unless you guys don't want to see that. Glue. And I went ahead and cut out a few more odds and ends of words and things. I got out the die cutter and cut out some. If I use a pin though, I want to put something over the top of it. I don't want it to stab me. Gonna have to turn the fan down. Oh dear. There we go. For some reason it was warm in here today. Leslie, if you're in California, are you in North California, South California? The reason I'm asking is I'm curious what your weather's been like. Karen and I both agreed that we didn't have any spring. It went straight from winter to summer. Well, doggone it. I took my glasses off so I could cut that, and I can't see the screen. Oh, man. Yeah, well, it's been in the 90s, but we have also had really bad humidity, which is normal for North Florida. Um, Yesterday it was so humid, my poor little car air conditioner couldn't handle it. It was yelling at me that it did not want to get cool. And we've had a lot of afternoon storms, which is normal here. It gets hot in Sacramento. Okay. One of my really good bead customers is somewhere in North Florida, or North California, North Florida. Um, he he lives someplace where there's not a lot of people though, so I I've only been to California a couple of times. Once I was 3 months old or so, I think I was told that, and then the year I was a freshman in high school, and I'm not going to tell you when that was, but um, we visited some of the national parks and things like that. Okay. All right, something's missing. Oh, where are my buttons? Hmm. Well, I might just have to put the buttons on later because I don't know where they're at. So that's okay. Um, well, Leslie, if your husband hasn't retired and you're retired, I, I could, I guess, retire if I didn't work for myself. My husband's retired, but I'm not going to tell you how old I am. We've lived all over the country. Um, Jeff used to work for the federal government, so to go up the ladder, you sort of move around a little bit. So, so let's see. I started out in Michigan. Jeff started out here in Florida. Our son was born in Texas. We went to school in Illinois. We've we've uh, we've moved around quite a bit. We've been a lot of places. Lived a lot of places. I think we decided this is our 8th house. So, but then of course we were going to live in the motorhome, so we would have lived wherever we were. And glue stick would work for this, but sometimes it's easier to use this kind of glue. And I like this Tombow mono liquid glue. It works real well. Um, Well, actually, we've lived in more states than that. After was Brandon was born, we moved back here. We were here for a while. Then we went to Alabama. Then we went to Nebraska. Then we went to South Dakota. So yeah, we've been around. We kind of got stuck in South Dakota. We did not like South Dakota, but we were there for 12 years, I think. Um, this is one of the reasons I really like this glue. It has a tiny applicator, so you can get tiny spaces. And I can put that right over that pin so that and I'll come back then since how I can't find my buttons. I thought they were right here, but I'll come back. Well, luckily, we never ended up going to either coast. Um, so we've not lived in super busy cities or things like that. We've always been in reasonably small towns. Omaha was pretty good size, but we really didn't live in Omaha. We uh, we lived in a little tiny town outside of Omaha. There. Like I said, I'll come back with some buttons and maybe some rickrack. So I'm going to just kind of work on these sort of assembly line kind of thing so that I can get a few of them done. So, yeah, the first thing I did was cut this up, um, and I mean I'm using the pattern to do this, and I wanted to use up all the little parts and pieces. So and then I had that little book, and I went through. This one says thread, spun fibers of cotton, linen, silk, or any other material. To string beads on a thread. To pick away, oh, it says, or to pick away through a crowd. So it's got all the definitions of thread, but at the same time, it was. I thought that the definitions were cute. Thanks, Leslie. I'm hoping the book comes out cute. I haven't gotten there yet. So I started with the tags, and I made some of those little rickrack flowers. I need to make a few more of those so that I can make the little um, paper clips. I put paper clips in all my books. So let's get a paper clip so that it'll be paper clipped in the book. I usually put a couple of different kinds of paper clips, so I'll have to figure out another one or two. But oh yeah, that's um, it's a set of die cuts that I got. I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now whose it is, whether it was Spellbinders or not. It might have been something I got from AliExpress because I did order one batch of them, and it was a whole. The sewing machine is there too. And this sewing machine's real cute. And I just went through the other day and cut a whole bunch of things out so that I had different things to work with. No, that's not going to work. Oh, I know. Where's my tape? Ah, right in front of me. Oh, yeah. No, these are tiny, and the the spool of thread. Oh, I guess I should really put the spool of thread on with the thread. Um, the spool of thread has a needle. See here. And I just went through and cut everything, a whole bunch of stuff that was sewing related out, so that I had it and didn't and could come back and sit down and make tags. That was the plan, anyways. I keep losing things. So. Uh, Leslie, I used to actually manage Bernina dealerships, and I don't know if you're familiar with Bernina's, but it's a type of sewing machine. So I've sewn since I was 4. Um, on the sewing machine, I've sewn since I was 4. So I have a lot of sewing and ephemera. Um, it was really funny though, because I wasn't doing this kind of junk journal paper kind of thing. I was doing art journaling, but not so much with ephemera. It was more of the art journal type stuff. And so when we went to move this last time, since we had to move ourselves, I got rid of all my old patterns. Um, yeah, mom taught us to sew. I don't know whether my sisters learned as young as I did or not, but I made an apron on the sewing machine when I was 4, and by the time I was in junior high, I could make just about anything. Um, I failed junior high home economics because I didn't want to make a jumper. Um, I thought it was a waste of time. I wouldn't wear a jumper, so I made a 3-piece suit instead. And since I didn't make the jumper, I failed class. So, um, there we go. Mm-hmm. Anyways, mom taught me very early. Of course, my dad could sew too. My dad did a lot of needlework over time. I'm pretty sure that he taught me to embroider, not mom. My sisters, neither one sew quite as much as I do. One of them sews a fair amount. The other one doesn't sew that much. Probably because mom didn't teach her as much as didn't. Yeah, Leslie. um, that was the thing. We were supposed to make a jumper, which there was no way I was ever going to wear a jumper, so I saw no reason to make a jumper. I, the skirt in the suit that I made had 16 or 17 buttons. It buttoned up the front, and I made what an Eisenhower jacket, if that relates, if you know what I'm talking about, the short military looking jacket, um, and a long skirt, and the whole mess had top stitching and buttonholes and all that stuff, but I didn't make the jumper, so. I like how these are going, even if I can't find my buttons, which I will find later. Of course, in the moving process, I still haven't found all of my stuff. I still have a whole room full of boxes to get unboxed. Yeah, why should you take 6 months to make something if you can make it and wear it? Is beyond me. But now they don't even teach a kid how to sew a button on. Um, my son can use my sewing machine just about as well as I can. He started at about 3. Now, he wasn't sewing anything specific at 3. He was just sewing. He loved, because it was computerized, he loved to push the buttons and get different stitches. So I just gave him fabric and put the foot control on top of a box. And of course, my sewing machine at that time, you could, well, even the one I have now, you can turn the speed down so that it can only go quarter speed or half speed. There. There's 2 sort of done. And of course, I want to go through the book when I go get ready to do the book and put all kinds of odds and ends of things in there too. So let's see. Next. Which side do we like? This one. I think anyways, I was telling you that I got rid of all of my patterns. All of my old patterns, I got rid of them. So I had to go out to the thrift stores and garage sales and stuff and find some sewing patterns because I had these ideas that I wanted to do. It was like, of course, just because I got rid of those things, I want them. Where did my little ladies go? There they are. Karen, I don't know what was going on earlier, but that seemed to be, it said my connection was bad, so I hope it's not me. Um, my my rate was supposedly okay, and we have real high speed internet, but I've been having trouble with the computer ever since it crashed. So um, I hope you don't get disconnected, and I hope it doesn't buffer too long because that's no fun to watch. Of course, another thing is it's 5 o'clock. Um, that's one of the problems is that your internet when people get home from work a lot of times everybody gets on the internet and then it starts slowing down. um, we have Cox here, and he told me I could have the fastest internet out there and I would still have issues at certain times of the day. It won't have as many, but he said it just, everything slows down. I think this lady's holding a poodle. I'm not sure that's what's in her hand, but I think that's what's in her hand. So, did you get your postcard done, Karen? I know watching somebody fussy cut something out is kind of like watching paint dry. Sorry about that. Awesome. I just can't wait to see it, Karen. I really can't. And Leslie, I hope you do one too. Karen's not doing a video. She's just making me a postcard. Yep, that'll probably do. And I'm using Tim Holtz Distress ink. This Dauber's just got enough on it to do up the edges a little bit. I think it's walnut stain or something like that. I tend to use the same one over and over again just because it's kind of vintagey looking and it just makes the pieces stand out. If you do the edges, then it just makes the pieces stand out more than they did before. But yeah, I haven't gotten into more than one pattern, and I had all of this, so just a little of this and a little of that. I have a real tape measure somewhere too. But I might put, I thought I'd save the tape measure because I'm thinking about using the tape measure as the closure for the book. Um, I'll show it to you just a second. It's kind of one of those papery tape measures. And I'm thinking about wrapping it around the book and um, maybe getting a buckle. which I'm sure I've got one of somewhere. So, um, that's my plan when it gets time. So, when there's time. See, Leslie, see the sewing machine was tiny too in this one, in this set. So I'm guessing my husband's going to be getting hungry pretty soon. I don't know what time he had lunch. They had lunch on the river, so. And I did use cardstock for these things that I punched out with the die cutter. It's not very heavy cardstock, but I figured they'd be easier to hold on to if they weren't just plain black paper. Looks. Guess I'm gonna have to get start standing that up in something. It's running out. New bottle of glue. There we go. That makes 3. Yay! Guys, I'll be right back. Yeah, Leslie, I really like it. It dries real clear, dries real thin. You got real tiny. Um, you ready to get food?
I'm gonna start making dinner.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna work for one more tag and then I'll sign off.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start making noise.
That's all right. Hubby says he's going to make noise because he's making dinner. So I said I was going to do one more tag and then I would sign off. I think I like this side. And what else did we have? What good fun things? Oh, here's a little piece of tape measure. A little sleeve. Oh, and here's the other piece of this. Oh, and that's actually a sleeve. So maybe we'll just use these sleeve pieces. Yep, yep, yep. Um, oh, this is another one I have, Leslie. Um, it's got 500 million little things I have to punch out of it still. When I started punching them, I wasn't exactly pleased with it. So, um, this is a little pretend button. There. Maybe I'll put those couple of those on. I'm sorry, Leslie. Oh, wow, what? I missed it. The fact that Jeffrey's going to make noise or that he's cooking dinner. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's got 500 million little tiny pieces I'm going to have to go in and punch out. So, which is going to make a mess, of course. I should have done that if I was going to use one of them before I got on to do the live, but because I don't think that would be very much fun to watch. I sometimes forget that I am supposed to be working on camera. This is all new to me. I've only done this since January, so. I don't know. Can you hear my husband in the kitchen? Something about this one doesn't work. He's making his specialty. It's called chicken strips and curly fries. So he's opening bags. I told him it was either he had to cook or he was going to get leftovers tonight, so he chose to cook. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Yeah, I don't always go back and watch the live things, or at least not the whole thing. So it's hard telling what noises get made. Like I said, I thought I was going to get to do my whole live, a bunch of videos and do a live and a whole bunch of things today, and then the computer wouldn't behave. So the best laid plans. Yep, I definitely think I'm going to have to get out the new bottle. It does, Leslie. It definitely does. That's what we keep saying about the RV. Stuff happens. You gotta learn to roll with it. I actually think I'll put her over there. Well, Karen and Leslie, I'm really glad you came and visited with me. There's somebody else here right now. I don't know who it is. Um, Maybe one of these days when I get everything sorted out, I'll get a schedule of when I can get on here. Right now, it's just kind of like whenever I get a chance. Um, with everything else going on. Um, but hopefully I'll get the kinks worked out and be able to do it just whenever I want. So, hi Sharon. I'm afraid, Sharon, I'm about to go. I've been here about an hour and 45 minutes. It was a last minute kind of thing. Things didn't go quite well today. So anyhow, it's kind of, I thought I'd show you what I did today. If I can find the glue lid. I did make a nice big mess. Um, I'm just working on some tag bases for my sewing machine, my sewing book that I'm working on, and I want to put some more buttons and things on them. This is the two I made in the. Um, well, Sharon, I'm just glad you came on. It will take a while to process, but the video is recorded, so you can go back and watch it. That's why I thought I'd show you what I did. These were the two I did in the sewing tag video, and I'm just working on some bases. I'm going to add more layers to them later. And then I did a little decorating of some more of my envelopes. And there again, there's a video on how I make these. But I was just working on decorating some of them. I wanted to get those finished. I worked on this art journal page a little bit. Thank you, Sharon. Um, so it'll take a little while to process, but then you should be able to go back and watch the whole video. I had trouble getting logged on, so there's a couple of oopses that only last a minute or so. When I get a chance later, I will take those off and only leave the long one. I don't even think this one has a proper title because everything was going awry. But I worked on that. I showed off my cute new bird napkins so that I can make some bird tags. So that's what I was doing today, Sharon. And Karen and Leslie, I really thank you guys for watching. And Sharon, I don't know if you're new to my channel, but I have several videos of things like I just showed you. And I do have a subscriber giveaway going right now. So you might want to check that one out. It's, yeah, Leslie said the same thing. I saw those and they're small enough to fit on a tag, which a lot of the napkins have like one giant bird. And when this is a really great napkin. The whole thing is just covered with little birds. So I'll have to do some bird tags because that's just too pretty not to. So anyways, that's kind of what we did. And my hubby's in the kitchen fixing dinner, and so I am going to sign off. And Leslie, I got them at Tuesday morning. Um, they, for some unknown reason, they were right at the front door. They had a whole table of napkins right at the front door. So, anyways, guys, um, oh yeah, Sharon, he is a good husband. Um, it was fun to see you guys, and I hope you'll stop in again. And Sharon, like I said, I'm not sure. I can't remember everybody's names anymore. I'm trying. It's really hard for me to do. But you guys, great seeing you. Have fun. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Make sure to check out the subscriber giveaway. And until next time, have fun. Go make art.